What's up, y'all? Mark Smith, JBS Training Group. So what I got here, I got a short target and then I got a target behind it. We're gonna call that our catch target. So what I'm trying to demonstrate here, I made a video on Instagram a while back and it seems to kind of be lost on some people what I was getting at with that. There are folks that are shooting every target, no matter the distance or the size, the same way they're shooting every other target. What I mean by that is you'll have a guy that shoots a close target and it sounds like this, pop, pop. And then he shoots a 25-yard partial and it sounds like this, pop, pop, right? And it's like, that cadence of fire indicates to me that there's no differentiation between the targets as far as what you need to see and how much of it you need to see, right? When I think of aiming, I think of aiming like there's soft aiming, hard aiming, all these different things, but aiming is aiming is aiming. It's the level of confirmation you apply to the aiming that is the difference maker, right? So this is a Hwanzik Kim idea, I believe, and I really like how he explains this. Like, whether you're aiming at a target at 5 yards with just body index body alignment, or whether you're bullseye shooting with a stop, still, stable dot on a B8 at 25, both of those are aiming. The difference is in the level of confirmation you're giving to the aiming, okay? So what I've got set up is a target that's directly behind this target, and I'm gonna show you the different angles of differentiation and how geometry is still in play, and show you how, like, on a close target, it might work out, but on a far target with the same level of confirmation, you typically get bit in the rear end, so you might need a little bit more. So we'll kind of look at that and see if that makes sense to you. Stand by. All right, y'all, so all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna split this this front target here about, I don't know, 4 yards away pretty quickly. We're gonna let the back target catch us, and hopefully this will tell the tale, right? So just 2 quick shots. Right? And on the front target, this looks really good, right? So I'll show you what it kind of looks like. Like, those look like 2 pretty solid alphas, and yes, I would absolutely accept that. But if we come to the back target that catches that angle as it keeps increasing, disregard the scoring zones, right? But what you'll see here is shot here and shot here. So that angle opens up wider and wider and wider as distance increases. So for this target at this distance, I might need a different level of aiming confirmation. Let's check this out. The difference in cadence between the two indicates a more refined sight picture. I'm still aiming just like I was with the first one. I'm just giving it a little more confirmation. Bullets are getting a little bit closer together, right? And as you can see, when the back target catches it, that angle of dispersion becomes slightly less than it was earlier. Let me get my head out of the way, maybe you can see that. Shot 1, shot 2. So let's add a little more level of confirmation to it. All right, so now this is gonna be 2 very high levels of confirmation on 2 shots. So this is kind of what that sounds like and looks like when we go look at it here. Hopefully that caught. And what you can see here is we've got 2 shots that are basically same hole. And when we go to our back target, we get 2 very, very close shots right there. So let's talk about it. And so what we end up with, y'all, is a guy that applies the same level of confirmation to far targets and near targets, and he does it really, really low, like a low level of confirmation. The target that's closer is big enough to catch his screw ups, right? But the target at farther distance and angles of dispersion is going to bite him in the hind end. He looks a lot like this. Right? So with the same level of confirmation on both targets, a 16 split and a 16 split, this is what I got going on here, right? So those look really great. But let's check out the catch target. And probably could have used a little more confirmation on that one. Now let's look at a different guy. All right, so what this guy does is he's gonna over-confirm everything, right? He over-confirms what the target requires. Closer targets, bigger targets don't require the same level of confirmation as farther, harder targets, reduced size targets, right? But he's going to shoot them the same no matter what. He looks a lot like this. So remember the 16 splits from earlier. 58 and a 50, which gives me 2 really good looking shots there, right? And 2 good looking alphas there. But what if, ideally in a perfect world, what you could do is give the target the appropriate level of confirmation based on knowing who you are, knowing your skill set, right? So this is done not by shooting faster or shooting slower. It's simply a technique done correctly, right? So I'm going to give the targets exactly what they need, nothing more, no less, and we'll see if that kind of demonstrates what I'm talking about here, right? So appropriate confirmation. Okay, so you hear the difference, right? The close one is big enough and close enough to catch those two alphas at a split time of 16, right? The far one, what I did was apply just almost double the split time actually for a 31, little bit more confirmation to make sure that that angle of deviation is right where it needs to be and those bullets are stacking up where they need to go. So basically, I say all that to say, if you can't shoot very fast on any target, then you probably shouldn't be until you learn to see more by seeing less. It's kind of like a little riddle up in there. Learn to give the target just what it needs, no more, no less, right? I want to see, some sight pictures are a flash of red, right? Some sight pictures are literally the gun is in front of my eye line with the target framed in the middle of it. Some sight pictures are I need the dot to stop moving, so on and so forth, right? But what target requires it? Well, you have to go figure that out and figure out what your skill level is. Some guys can blaze the 5-yard target the same way they can the 25-yard target. If you can't, then you need to know that about yourself and apply the appropriate level of confirmation to the aiming. If you are a guy that shoots all the targets the same at a very rapid rate, you're not seeing what you need to see. You're throwing two hopers at certain things and just kind of hoping for the best. If you're the kind of guy that bullseye shoots every target, no matter the size, you are over confirming everything, right? And you're seeing a stop, still, perfect bullseye shoot and die, even though the target doesn't require that level of shooting, right? So figure out what you can do and what you can't do and work to increase that, right? That's what I got for you. Mark Smith, JBS Training Group.